That's why I said I still don't believe. I still can't believe he made
I don't believe action.
This motherfucker. Stino, man, dog. This is Ron and the Austino's podcast. We back in the building again, man. It's been a long week. It's been a good week. So we had some good things, some good moments and stuff like that. It's been a whole lot going on in the media, which we're gonna get up into. A bunch of things happen. Obviously, I'm sure everybody and their mama is talking about, and yeah, we're gonna do the same thing too for a little bit, is the P. Diddy, the P. Diddy trial. And then also Tory Lanez situation, you know, wishing him nothing but the best and speedy recovery and all that other stuff. I heard he's actually breathing on his own, even though I have some things I want to say about that, which I'm not sure, because I feel like you have 2 collapsed lungs and you come back a week later. I think either there was some misled information given to the public, because I feel like I ain't no doctor, so I don't really know, but I feel like it's kind of hard to recover from 2 collapsed lungs in 1 week or span a few days. So, but we'll get into that a little bit.
I think the first thing was that the machine was breathing for him, and then that's when they said, okay, now he can breathe on his own. So when it first happened, they were using a machine.
Yeah. Okay. But man, we in it with the how's your week, man?
It's good. It's actually been a little slow the past 3 weeks. You know, I still got some Aquapanna.
Yes. We out here. We still out here with our non-sponsored. Now we got the Aquapanna.
And then the Pellegrino.
And the Pellegrino all day still.
So that's straight Italian, because Pellegrino's Italian too. Different part of Italy. Bergamo.
Oh, okay. But then how come these are so-called, these is...
I mean, anything from Italy is going to be fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You know, I love this shit, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Have you ever thought about visiting Europe?
San Pellegrino. Huh?
Have you ever thought about visiting Europe?
Matter of fact, me and Neil was talking about...
What's a European country you'd like to visit?
Me and Neil literally was talking about this probably a couple of days ago. Because I had told her, I was like, all right, if we go, because she had asked me about going, because she had went on a cruise. When was it, last year? I believe it was last year. She had went on a cruise with the baby and her mom's. This was when I first started working here, so I couldn't, really get the time off and everything. So she had went on a cruise with the baby and her mom, and they took a 10-day cruise out to and visited Italy, nice. Greece, like a Mediterranean cruise. Yes. So like those parts, I just know Italy and Greece were part of the 2 cities. I think they went to like 4 or 5 cities. And she was telling me how much she loved it out there and how much she wants to go. She wants me to go with her.
From what I heard, their food quality is way up.
That's exactly what she told me too.
Even their flour is different.
She be joking. Matter of fact, she just ordered some pizza today, just before we left. And this is probably the first time I think she had pizza since going back there. She was like, I don't ever want to eat pizza again unless it's from Italy. She was like, babe, we just got to fly out to Italy just to get pizza.
Nice.
I was like, I don't know if we're going to do all that. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, I told her, I was like, nah, babe, you know what? Because I want to go back to Africa.
Nice.
Which
country in Africa?
Egypt.
I'd like to visit Egypt.
I want to see the Giza pyramids.
Right now, I heard it's not a good time. Because there's some turmoil in the government. Yeah. That's what one of my customers said.
And then also another place I want to go is South America. I mean, no, South Africa. So I just want to be I want to go to the motherland. You know what I mean?
I heard Ghana's very safe.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to see where man developed and where man started from.
Yeah.
I went I went one time when I was deployed overseas.
Oh, you been to Africa?
Mm-hmm.
What part?
Doha. So it's like maybe 50 miles from.
Is it dry
Dubai.
heat or humid?
Dry fucking heat.
Oh yeah,
dry heat. But
So-
to be honest,
Is that in the middle of Africa?
no, it's like literally 100 miles from Dubai.
Oh, so it's probably East Africa. It is East Africa.
Yeah.
So like, where's Somalia and
Yeah. Up in that off of that Mediterranean border.
Oh, kind of like where Morocco is and stuff.
No. 'Cause that's the west.
No, that's east. Morocco's east.
You sure?
Yeah, because Morocco's next to Spain.
Well, it's more inland.
Oh, like more.
It's a little off of like Egypt and whatnot. That side.
Probably more close to Algeria or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So I told her, I was like, nah. All right, if we go on this cruise over
Going to
to
Africa.
the European island, like the next one we do, we going to Africa. So
Nah, I know
like,
you're not the most animal guy, but are you gonna do a safari?
Yeah. I'm gonna do.
Then test the waters here in Animal Kingdom.
I'd have been there. I'd have done
yeah?
Animal Kingdom. Yeah, of course I've done Animal Kingdom a little bit over.
Is it nice or no?
Mm-hmm. The baby loves it and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. So, I mean, for me, yeah, I'll do it and whatnot. I wanna see the culture and just see how everything really is and everything and stuff too. Like I said,
That's probably one culture I've never ate as far as food. I don't think I've ever ate African food. I used to work at the airport with a lot of Nigerians, and they used to eat with their hands and stuff. But I've never ate African food before, or any like food from Africa.
Yeah, I have not either. So we're going to find out in the next few years or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
All I gotta say is, make sure you get your shots. That's one thing I heard is you got to get a lot of shots before you even go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's cool though.
Yeah, so that's on one of my that's on my bucket list. To go out there or for me to go back out there, especially with my family and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I do Australia.
I would love to do it with the older kids, but we shall see. Where that comes when time comes and whatnot. You saying what's your bucket?
Australia,
Yeah.
Philippines,
You've never been out there?
France. What? No, I've been to
Never been
Asia,
to
but
Philippines though?
yeah, my grandma was pissed. But
Why she was pissed?
because I went to Thailand when I worked for United Airlines as ramp service.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was like, you should went to the Philippines, but yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
But
I
that
just
was
went there.
probably like
It's just at the time I was 20 years old, so I went with a coworker because originally I wanted to go to Brazil, but have you ever seen that movie City of God?
Why does it sound familiar?
Have you ever seen that like Jamaican movie Shadas?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's like a Brazilian version, and it's like authentic. People like rob, like these kids rob it. It's all in subtitles. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend I speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
But that's why everybody thinks like Brazilians speak Spanish, but they speak Portuguese.
yeah.
That's why I used to be friends with ninth grade year. He was really good at soccer. His name was Gustavo, and I was like, "You don't speak Spanish?" And then he was like, "No, I speak Portuguese." But
I learned that growing up in Jersey.
it's definitely, the women are beautiful, and Brazil's nice. I mean, it's definitely I definitely like the Amazon, and at one time I was really into the freshwater fish, so a lot of fish come from like Colombia and Brazil and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely. Yeah. The thing with traveling is you gotta get the dough.
So
you gotta get the dough. So now,
that being said,
we're doing the process to get there.
We want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and then maybe we do
a podcast in Africa.
Exactly, we do a podcast in Africa. We do a podcast
in France,
Philippines,
Australia,
Asia, somewhere. You never know where this might take us.
Exactly.
If this might take us.
I wouldn't even mind doing like a small if we got like a group of us together, like mutual friends, and we ran a cabin in like Lake Tahoe. I think that'd be pretty cool, like in the fall, just as a group. Yeah. Just like group, you know, throw down like 800 and we all like throw down on the Airbnb in Lake Tahoe. The lake is completely clear.
Lake Tahoe.
It's like right on the Nevada and California border.
Yeah, why the fuck? I've heard. That's why I was like, I'm like Lake Tahoe. I've heard this place before. I lived in California. That's why I heard it before.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Where the fancy folks from California go.
Yeah.
The fancy folks.
Sitting here remembering.
That's like Aspen, basically.
Yeah.
And
they do like to take the time out there. And when I was in the station over there, everybody and their mama, go to Lake Tahoe, go to Lake Tahoe, go to Lake Tahoe.
And they go to Vegas too, because when we were in Vegas, my mom we used to go to the Vegas on the weekends a lot, like in the 90s, like as a kid. So I definitely like remember Vegas a lot.
Oh, as a kid?
Yeah.
Your mom and them took you out as a kid?
We lived in Prescott, which is an hour and a half from Phoenix. So we used to go to Vegas on the weekends.
Oh, shit. Man, how many places did you go because I can count 3. I know I'm from 3 places.
You want me to just do it?
Georgia, and
I don't want it to take up the whole show, but
Jesus,
you want me to go?
Feels like it can.
You want me to go?
Just give me like give me
from
5.
when I was born.
don't know.
From when I was born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell,
So,
if it takes
my mom and dad,
you know if it's going to take up.
They met at the Army Hospital in Honolulu.
Like every time
they met in the Honolulu at the hospital, right? In the elevator.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
Oh.
My dad's from Lawton, or he's not. Yeah. Well, my dad grew up in the Army too. And he was born in Hawaii, but he pretty much grew up most of his life in Lawton, Oklahoma, where his Fort Sill is. So my grandpa on my dad's side was an artillery officer in Vietnam, and then he became a teacher in Lawton, Oklahoma. So then my mom and dad met, you know, they started dating, and then they had me in Tulsa. So then from Tulsa, Oklahoma, my dad got stationed in Germany, and this is in 1988. This is Hamburg, Germany, and then my brother was born in Germany. Then we came back to the States after Germany. Little side note, I think when I was 3 years old, I fell out of an apartment building. The moving lady left the window open on like a 4-story. So it's like, it's almost like a miracle I'm still here. So I think sometimes my mom feels a little guilty about that stuff. So, I mean, I'm her firstborn, so she has a lot of love for me. So, but
of course.
San Antonio, Killeen, Texas. My dad got out of the Army. We went to Prescott, Arizona. My dad didn't like it in the civilian world, so he went back in the Army. Okay. And then my grandpa on my mom's side, that my mom's dad was sick, and then my dad put a request, and my grandpa was in Dover Air Force Base, but he retired in Dover. That's when we went to Fort Belvoir, and my dad got stationed at Fort Belvoir. So I spent majority of my life in Northern Virginia, but Fort Belvoir is in Fairfax County, but I grew up in Prince William County. So and then after high school, I stayed in Virginia, and then I lived in Vegas, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina.
So this is you being grown now.
Yeah, and then Charlotte, North Carolina, and Orlando, Florida, where I'm at right now.
Here.
So now that you think about it, I never even thought about that, because when I do tell people, because when you know Christian, I tell him like, "Damn, Austin, you've been a lot of places," and it just seemed normal to me, because I've always was used to being the new kid. And you know, and then I stick out because my last name's Milozewski. So then people are just like, "Who is this guy?" Like, so I guess that's probably why like I'm good at sales, because I'm always used to meeting new people. So like I mean, not everybody likes me because I actually gotten some complaints. Some old guy was complaining because I asked him to pay. I guess I don't know, because he was saying it was a Winter Park character. It was one of those Winter Park characters, and then he was like, Joe Biden's age, 88, and then he was like, I send paychecks in the mail. I said, sir, it doesn't work like that. Can I go pick up the check from your office? He's like, I don't know when I'm going to be in the office. But long story short, got the money. He said he didn't like me, but you know, I'm not a politician. I can't be everybody's friend. So that's life for you.
Exactly. I was sitting there because I'm like, man, every episode I'm just like, bro, I hear you say a different place. Growing up.
I forgot to say my dog. I stayed in Hawaii for like 30 days. I forgot to tell you that part.
Yeah,
that was after jail.
That
was after jail. So like I was pale white. So then you've seen the sun. Shit. So I literally burnt out there, bro. So like imagine not seeing sun for 90 days. I was like Casper. And that sun hit me hard. I got tan within like 5 minutes of walking on the beach on Hawaii. But yeah, that was cool though. Yeah. So, and my mom hooked that up. So my mom hooked me up because she didn't want me in Virginia. So she said, you got to make it work in Hawaii. Man. And I tried, but you know, I missed the mainland.
I only got 2 places. It's Jersey and Georgia. Like
California and Florida.
But yeah, California. And it's funny that now that I've lived here and I lived in California, I consider Georgia like one of my home, like outside of Jersey. Them 2 places I consider like the most home, but like I became a man in California.
Yeah.
I was 21 years old when I went out to California. And I left California 28 years old. I came back here, I was 20. I came to Florida and I was 28. And so I spent 6 years and 3 months. And I spent the least time in Georgia. I spent from 03 to maybe 2010. Yeah, 2010, because that's when I went to California.
Yeah.
So from 04 to 2010, that's when I went to California. And I'm like,
basically like the butterfly effect from the last episode, all these towns have made us.
Yeah.
You know, Tucson has made me a savage in a good way.
It really shaped, it really molded. Like each
and you gotta think about it. Think about the
in.
cats that we went to high school with. Like they're still there. They're still at that same 7-Eleven.
Same.
You know, they're still there to this day.
Same. I mean,
no disrespect to the local jokers, but just
no
stay.
Disrespect at all.
But
it's like,
I mean,
you can't live like that.
Yeah,
you can't live like that and think you're gonna elevate or get out of that situation. You know what I mean? You should. Living
like the Truman Show.
But essentially, in that box.
Did you ever watch that Randy Moss 30 for 30? Where it was from Moretown. That's where he's from in West Virginia.
I probably have.
Yeah, but
I probably have. I feel like that's an older 30 for 30, so I haven't rewatched it or watched it in a while.
Well, you know, White Chocolate's from there. Randy Moss is from there. You see how they elevated their game. Yeah. They left that town. And you gotta admit, man, like I never grew up in like a small town like that, but to like just go to like a military academy or go to the college, or for him, like Jason Williams, go to Florida, like that's a big move for them. And those cats, like Jason Williams and Randy Moss, they're from a small town. So basically, those friends that they have now are still at the 7-Eleven drinking, talking about how they were athletes and what they used to do and how they used to have it. And, you know, it's just another story. But some people like living like that. For me, I don't. So that's not my style.
I grew up in a small town in Jersey called South River. And I think it's 2 square miles. 2 square miles wide. That's literally it.
Yeah.
And there's one side of it, we call it the alley, which the side I stayed on, so it was called A block. And then the other side was after Daly's.
Were you in a townhouse or a condo?
No,
apartment.
Nah, a house.
Oh yeah?
House. Yeah. And then the other side was after Daly's Pond. And we called them D block, growing up in like middle school and stuff like that. So it was A block, D block. I don't know if this is, I don't know. I left in 8th grade, so, but I don't know if that was like, if it caught on and it stayed a thing or something like that, but I do believe it was. But I met a couple cats a couple weeks ago. They came down here and them motherfuckers was from, I told them I was from Jersey and stuff. No. Yeah, I told him that I was from, because they said, I was like, yo, where y'all from? And he was like, Jersey. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm from Jersey too. And I told him, I'm like, no, I'm from East Brunswick. I'm from East Brunswick, New Jersey. Because most of the time, whenever I'm telling somebody I'm like from Jersey or something like that, if they're from Jersey, then I'll say like where I'm from. So matter of fact, no, I said I'm from South River, New Jersey. I'm like, yo, I'm from South River. And then dudes looked at me like, nah, man, you ain't from South River. And I was like, yeah, I'm from South River. He was like, yo, I'm from South River too. And I'm like, and we was both the same age and stuff like that. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Different high school?
No, we only had one high school. We had one high school, South River High School.
Did you know
South
this
River
cat?
Middle. I did you not?
Did you just drop some names?
I did try. One dude that he did show me one dude. I think his name was Carlos. We were the same age, and he was giving me energy vibes. Obviously, I haven't seen this cat since 8th grade, but the name did stand out. So, like I said, it just didn't, I couldn't register. But like I said, this is from 8th grade, so I was 13 years old. If I would have seen him, so I would have thought.
This cat came into the barbershop from Jersey.
Yeah, from my town.
Yeah, and you cut him.
Yeah, I cut him up. Him and his homeboy partner, they was from Jersey.
And they were just visiting for Disney World?
Yeah, Disney. A buddy of theirs was getting married. And
oh yeah, because you can get married at Disney. Yeah.
Or they was just doing like a bachelor's party, like bachelors for the weekend and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to them.
In Orlando?
That's what I said, man. I said the same thing. I was like, you come out there.
I don't
Come
know
out to
about
Orlando. I don't know about that one either.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the nightlife because I haven't really experienced it like that. So
no more. I mean, but you've had your run-ins and stuff like that. You
sometimes, more of it's like in Tampa or.
But you haven't went out to a club or something down there or something?
A strip club.
Well, you never went to like a club where you
I haven't.
Get your groove on. Hey, you know what I mean? You haven't big booty chick or something like that? You haven't done that?
No, I have back home, but not here.
You haven't did it here?
Nah, I haven't.
Oh shit!
Might have to take your dad out. As
yeah, I was about to say. My pops to show you.
Yeah, get a couple drinks with him, that mango.
Yeah, hell yeah, boy! He'll show you.
Might go to Rachel's or something.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah.
But let's get down to the juicy juice. No. Let's talk about Mr. Diddy.
The diddler. The diddler is out.
It was fun talking about us, but let's talk about the report that you just had. And then I'd like to make a request to that courthouse.
A request?
For you to be the new sketch artist, because that person just is straight garbage, man. Just straight abstract art.
Listen,
I think I could draw better than him.
Listen, I'm gonna draw the same exact way. I'm gonna let you know. Yeah, if I'm me, I have to like. Yeah, I could see. Obviously,
well, they at least need to let you try out.
I would need to take a picture of it and draw it from there. If you're giving me a time limit and I'm supposed to sit there and just draw out some stuff like that, I can't do that because it's moving, everything's changing and things like that, and I can't just get. I'm so detail oriented. I want to get every speck of like every piece of hair from every piece of hair.
At least try it.
Like every piece of hair in his whatchamacallit. I want to see every flow in the hair from the attorneys and stuff like that. I'm like that. If you put me out there, I'll do the same thing. Yeah, I mean it'll be pretty decent, but it's gonna come out looking the same exact way.
Well, I can't judge because I'm not an artist.
So like,
I just thought you could do better.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna say about the same. I'll probably say about the same. But if you snap a picture and you tell me to paint this motherfucker, boy.
At least get in the courthouse so you can at least see what's going on in there.
Hell yeah. Nah, but I be following some but that goes into the whole the diddler trial. Trial of, I guess, the century and shit. But so I guess everything started this week, but we're opening testimonies.
Isn't it crazy in how, like, he's been doing this since the 90s. He's been doing this type of behavior, 90s, early 2000s, the 10s, and the 2020s. So 4 decades.
90s, 2000. Yeah,
4 decades, and he's been doing this in front of us. And for me, on the outside, I think the prosecution or the feds need to investigate some other stuff. Like, you know, the suspicious, like, death of Porter, his ex-wife.
Kim Porter.
Suspicious medical issues with Al B. Shore. Because, you know, Al B. Shore was originally married to Porter.
Yeah.
And P. Diddy adopted that kid.
Yeah.
And legally adopted him. But I think they had a falling out. So I think he's back with his dad.
Quincy.
Yeah, Al B. Shore. Quincy
is the Al B. Shore and Kim Porter's son. That's the one that you were talking about.
Okay, yeah.
That Diddy adopted. But yeah.
But I think Quincy's not with Diddy, or he just, like, 4 years they had like a falling out. But and then the suspicious thing with Jamie Foxx, but I don't know, man. I don't want to get into conspiracies, but I feel like they're just distracting us, and there's something bigger going on than just this. So I don't know, man. It's just like it seems like the feds are picking and choosing when they want to, like, you know. I don't know if Diddy pissed off some wrong people with that liquor and stuff. But did you know that he didn't own any of that stuff? Ciroc, Sean John, those were all promotion deals, and they were very lucrative promotion deals. But they were like $200 million promotions. But all this happened when he started asking about his money with a breach of contract about the tequila in Mexico. And then, you know, BlackRock owns the you know, that.
BlackRock.
And you don't think BlackRock is in some politicians' hands or some federal people's hands? But I don't know. It's just suspicious, man. I'm suspicious of what's going on in the bigger picture of things.
Oh, yeah. To be honest, like I said, honestly, I never thought Diddy was going to make it to this point to even be able to be on trial. I didn't think so.
Oh, you think
I thought he was going to get the Weinstein treatment or the Epstein treatment. I really thought he was, because like we said, they're talking about these freak offs and everything right now. Now, I mean, this is obviously, we're just putting our 2 cents in real quick before we even get it. But they're talking about these freak offs, but like you said too, they need to start looking at, because there's allegedly, there are young children, minors in these freak off tapes going on in these freak offs and everything too. So those are the parts that we like. That's the part where, like, whoa, hold on now.
But so far they haven't even said anything about that, so we have to wait until that comes out. But so far, it's you know, obviously you can't have prostitutes and escorts. I think this is how the escort services get away with that stuff, is that it's not against the law for you to go dinner with somebody and they pay you to hang out. But it is against the law if you go to a hotel and then you pay for sex.
And that's
so I don't understand, like, how open are these escort services? Like, they're just running like this, and like it seems like another day in the office. Like they had like a 4-day freak off for 4 days straight. Like, how was that even possible? But I mean, a lot of drugs.
They high and laced up and on drugs and all kinds of mind altering them.
Hey, and then also, Ron, maybe being rich isn't like what it's all cracked up to be, because these have everything and they could use this money for good. And then Diddy always used to preach how religious he was and that he was a man of God and stuff. But it was all a facade. It was all fake. And the devil will laugh in your face. And really, he was demonic. He's very demonic. And
he playing around with God. That's why he's where he's at right now, in the situation that he's in right now. I found out, I think, the tattoo. I think he got one tattoo, I guess, on his back of a Haitian queen or something like that. Real spiritual, like Haitian queen or something like that. That's and I found out about that, and it was like, yo, bro, do you even know what you putting on your body out here? She's like, you know what I mean? This is her. You feeling the ramifications of the things that you're doing to people and whatnot. So, but yeah, so it's like, it's one of them things where it's like, yo, and then everything started this week with Cassie's trial, testimony prosecution.
8.5 months pregnant.
8.5 months pregnant is crazy.
I guess the defense, I guess their strategy was that they wanted to stress her out so that they could have a mistrial.
Yeah, trying to get
that's
that
how much of a savage they
are. That's why they up in there. From what I've seen from some people, like that's from YouTubers that's actually inside of the courtroom and reporting back, like after lunches and breaks and stuff like that, running out real quick. They over there saying that Diddy's out. I mean, Diddy's team and whatnot. He's over there writing questions and stuff down for them to ask her, and he's passing them over to like, yo, so about these baby oil bottles and stuff like that, or about the freak offs. You said you was willing to be, you know, and you was a willing participant and all this other stuff with the freak offs, and they were saying that like, yo, Diddy's team is flustered because of him trying to run their damn, like we're trying to do this. This is our job. Motherfucker, if this was so easy, your ass wouldn't have hired all the 7 of us. You wouldn't have hired the 7 of us. Let us do our fucking job. And they're kind of like bickering back and forth with him a little bit too at that time, at that same time, because they're looking at it like, yo, shut the fuck up. You just let us do our job, motherfucker. Like, this is what we do. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, you got your input, but that's Diddy's trying to hold that control. That's a man that grasps power. Like, even to this day, he still think he like has the power. He thinks he knows more than what his legal team can do. You know what I mean? And I get what they're trying to do for Cassie, and I do believe, first and foremost, I think Cassie, and this might sound a little controversial. Maybe not. I don't know. From what everything came out in the very beginning, 19, 20, 21 years old when they first met, I think she saw Diddy like, oh shit, Diddy's interested in me. Oh shit, I can go get a record deal. Let me go. Diddy thinks I'm cute. Let me go get a record deal with him. Get put on. You know, she sees money, glitz. He's interested. He's coming after her like, yo, like, oh, okay. So all I gotta do is just do a little freak off or something like that. Like, yeah, like, all right, cool. And then I can get put on, get a 10-album deal. She's like, all right, yeah. Let me, you know, join along in this. But then eventually, as she kept going into them freak offs, maybe she got tired.
It's called the lover boy method, and he basically just groomed. She was groomed. So
exactly.
And I even saw something I saw something with the Shine interview
as a middle-aged
where he was asking for money for his country in Belize, and Diddy.
Who was asking for money?
Shine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is when he got released, and they kind of like he was raising money for him, and then he was basically he met with Diddy, and he just like went to some shopping, and he spent like $800,000, and then he gave him $25,000, and then Shine was expecting like $500,000 or $250,000. He gave him like $25,000 and just kept it moving. But I mean, he's a snake, you know. He blamed all that stuff on Shine when that stuff happened. So it's crazy how life works. Shine's free, and then Diddy's in jail now.
Diddy's in jail. Uh-huh.
So I guess that was Shine's karma. So in a good way.
Oh yeah. How's that Shine's karma? That's Diddy's karma.
No, I'm saying that Shine got his karma back.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, because and another thing. It's a lot of DV going on. It is a lot of domestic violence going on. So far from what we've heard, is racketeering, and there is some RICO stuff, but they are leaning heavy into the DV, domestic violence stuff right now.
But how's that a federal charge?
But that's not what he's on jail for. That's not what he's going to. That's not what the counts are.
So it makes the prosecution look like they're doing a witch hunt.
What they're doing is, because this trial is 8 fucking weeks. We're literally 5. We just finished 5 days Friday. Monday to Friday was the 5th day. They're painting this picture.
They got to ask you something. If the case was to end right now, Diddy would win.
Well, if it was this week, that's a horrible case to do.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if it were to if they had to decide right now on all the charges that they brought up, he would walk.
If that was the case, because if that was,
they really didn't show any. That's what I'm really trying. I'm not trying to defend Diddy.
No.
Yeah, I agree. But then I also think there's no federal charges. They're just talking about his character, and yeah, his defense, which was a smart move. Be like, yeah, he was on drugs. He's fucked up. Yeah, but then Cassie was doing drugs too. But this is where the grooming and the.
So to get back to your point though, if this was a 1 week trial, then the prosecution ain't gonna start off with this whole DV shit. They got to get to the point.
Yeah,
we got to get to the racketeering, the RICO,
and all that extracurricular about him being a cuck. I think all that is just a distraction.
8 weeks. I just they're trying to paint this picture. You can't as an artist, you gotta blank canvas, you gotta put a base down first.
Yeah.
And then you start adding in the details and stuff like that. Cause that's what happened with Dawn Richards.
If you were his defense lawyer, be like, where's the federal crime? That's what I would have said. And I would have wrote that. I would have been like, where is the federal crime?
Listen, that's exactly what happened Friday. Friday after court, they started asking, because I wrote that down. Friday after court, Diddy's defense attorney said, where's the federal crime? That's when Dawn Richards come up. She testified and said that she's a member of Danity Kane. She was a member of Danity Kane first, and then she became a member of Dirty Money, which is another female girl band. And she testified that she saw Cassie get beat and stomped out and dragged upstairs to the first floor. And now here's where the RICO racketeering comes in. She had God. I am literally drawing a blank right now.
Look at your notes. If you got
no. But she testified that the bodyguards came in and told him, yo, with guns, and said, yo, y'all hush. Y'all ain't see nothing. Don't worry about this. This ain't none of y'all business. If anything if anything leaks out, then this is what's gonna happen. Y'all can end up missing. And that's what she testified to. Now they're gonna go cross-examine on Monday with her.
So this is what I want the viewers to understand. A stereotypical RICO case is when a drug dealer it was originally designed for the Italian mafia. So it was originally for like the mob bosses, like during the bootleg days. So this isn't your stereotypical RICO case. It's just because the government is just making it very confusing on the outside scoops. But I'm sure there's more details that will expose themselves. But right now, in my humble opinion, I think Diddy's defense team is winning right now.
I can't say that right now because, like I said, it's 8 weeks.
No, I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about this week right now. I think the defense team is winning.
Honestly, I still can't say that because it's like, so I know there's 8 weeks. I can't make a decision because I ain't got all the pieces to the puzzle.
Exactly. So you can't vote him guilty.
Yeah, I can't say he's guilty.
So he's not guilty.
I can't say he's guilty.
So right now, you got to prove that he's guilty by reasonable doubt. Yeah. So right now, he's considered not guilty in your eyes right now, technically.
Because I don't have all the pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So right now, they haven't proven it by reasonable doubt. That's my point.
And I get that. I get that in a sense. But also at the same time, it's like
there can't
if
be
I
any
don't have all the pieces
discrepancies
to the
when you
puzzle-
vote when you vote guilty.
But that's
there can't
why
be
they vote
anything
in 8 more weeks.
So I don't know.
Yeah, and 7 now. You come back to me in week 5 or 6, then I can be like, oh, he's looking bad. Or either, oh shit, I don't know. It's looking like he might be walking. By week 5, 6, with 5 weeks with just a whole bunch of DV stuff that all I've heard was DV stuff. Like in the whole first week. Just a whole bunch of raunchy. She like.
Can I ask you something? In your opinion, what was the prosecution? What was their strategy in the sense of getting all that nasty details about? I could say this coming on his nipples or her getting UTIs. Like, what is the strategy behind that? Because in my sense, if I'm looking at it from the outside point, I'm thinking that how can you vote for him even though he's technically not guilty, but how can you let someone just walk like that? Like, I think they're just trying to make him look like such a demon, which is not a federal crime.
No, of course not.
That's the part.
I'm
if I was the defense, and then I would say, do you see how they're trying to manipulate the situation? This has nothing to do with character. This has to do everything with crimes.
That's exactly what his lawyer said at the end of Friday afternoon.
So they're winning, Ron.
Friday afternoon.
They're winning, Ron.
I don't.
You made my point. They're winning.
No. But the thing is, they're saying like, yo, what is Dawn Richard's point has to be? What does Dawn Richards' statement have to be said about? That's because they said that's where the RICO stuff is coming in. That's where the RICO stuff is coming in. Like I said, they're painting the picture first. Okay. Now they're bringing in Dawn, which is the second. Well, not the second, I guess, because you had the one dude that testified, the dancer testified first, then Cassie. Then there was actually a special agent. Now this is a special agent too. So a special agent came before. This is Homeland Security.
As undercover?
No, Homeland Security. So this is when they picked him up
when they
the day from the hotel.
They grabbed him, but they didn't arrest him.
They grabbed him. No. They arrested him at the hotel last year. I can't remember the exact date that he got arrested.
Oh, you talking about in September?
Remember,
when they grabbed him.
Yeah,
in September.
So this is where they grabbed him. They grabbed him at the hotel, and this is also part of the RICO and racketeering part that they're establishing now. So the Homeland Security agent, she went and testified Friday for a few minutes. And what happened was, she said, so her job was to take pictures of the scene of what was in the in the hotel when they picked him up. Because originally the next day he was going to turn himself in. And if he would have turned himself in, they wouldn't have been able to look inside the room and all this other stuff. So they grabbed him the day before. So the Homeland Security agent, special agent, she took pictures of what she saw in the room. She said, let me double check. She had said she took pictures.
Yeah.
She had found all the baby oil.
So he was still getting freaky.
Yeah, and this is as of last year. This is as of last year. So she found bottles.
Can I ask you something? Do you think the baby oil is because the women aren't wet? Is that what it's getting used for? Or he just puts it all over the body?
He sprayed, he threw baby oil in the pool and had Cassie get in the pool with clothes on and shit. In an inflatable pool, and sprayed baby oil inside the pool. So they slipping and sliding in a pool. That ain't just because of that.
Oh, that's what I thought.
It ain't just because of that.
I don't know. My bad.
Hell no.
I didn't understand what was the.
Nah, he's just a glistening motherfucker. He like people glistening. But also,
And then, can I say something too? Is this what happens when you get bored of being rich?
It must be.
Is this, you just get bored? And the thing is,
we ain't there.
He's not the only one.
Oh, fuck no.
There's, I mean, let's talk about Steve McMahon.
I believe
the WE's as CEO.
It's not. It's Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Steve McMahon is his son, right?
No. It's,
oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon. You're the wrestling expert. My bad.
Vince McMahon is Shane McMahon.
His
son.
All right.
Shane
Vince McMahon on some nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Bill Gates on some nasty stuff. All those people hanging out with Epstein. Yeah, nasty.
Yeah,
but
they all do. They all just like that. But
and I feel like the government's distracting us with this Diddy because so we're not even talking about the Epstein because we as Americans we want that fucking list. But that's I feel like we're getting distracted by all this.
No, they're not gonna. They have too many. They got presidents on that list, bro. That list is not coming out. They're never put. That's why I said I still don't believe. I still can't believe he made it to this trial.
I don't believe Diddy is the godfather of this whole operation.
Diddy ain't the godfather.
He answers somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's who I want to go after. That's who I want that's where I want the federal and our taxes to go for. I want to go who Diddy answers to. I want to go who Epstein answers to. I want to know who these nasty people answer to.
I don't give a damn about Cassie and
Cuddy and they're pawns at this point. In the bigger pictures.
Like you said,
who is the connect?
Who's allegedly?
Who's the godfather of this whole operation?
Who's in them underage, allegedly them underage people on these freak offs?
Yeah,
those are the people, but they're not. Oh my goodness,
did that really? Yeah, that's the first time it's happened.
I know that's the first time it's all
good,
bro.
It's part of the show.
I know.
You want to clip it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna clip it out.
Well, we're at a barbershop, so sometimes that compressor does go off.
Exactly, the compressor for the air, like
I think Diddy's handlers were mad at us, so they want us to shut up.
Yeah, they wanted to censor us too, so we couldn't.
Because no one's asking those questions. Who the hell is Diddy answering to?
I've been wondering that one from the jump, because
he doesn't have Godfather vibes to me.
No,
he doesn't. No. I think they got him strung out.
He's front man.
He got him all strung out on the women, the men.
He's the voice. He's that party guy. He's the voice.
Yeah.
He's not. Because even though I think like him and even though I think Jay-Z allegedly got some shit going on too, Jay-Z is more like calculated. He's more of a calculated, smooth criminal. Not 50, but Diddy, he's one of them like, take that. Just like he's one of them.
He's loud.
Yeah, he's loud, flaunty, flashy. You know what I mean? He's like that. Take that. So that's how.
It's just he doesn't have.
I just know. That's what I'm saying. These freak off tapes. Like I said, I'm really surprised he even made it here.
And don't you think they're centralizing it? The media centralizing it? They're basically, that word freak off is basically, he was having orgies. Like, that's what it is. So, like, that word is being centralized. And the part is that, I don't know, man. It's just, the government has to prove this case by reasonable doubt. And right now, it's looking iffy right now. So,
but the thing is also, too, if you
and they rushed this trial too. Did you know that, right? Because originally they were trying. His defense team was like, "Hey, Diddy, we're gonna need you to sit down," and he was like, "Nah, we gotta get out of here."
Yeah.
You said there's a chance of me getting out because he was like, he kept getting denied bail, and then he tried to renege on that and say, and then the judge is like, "No, let's go. We're going on trial right now."
Mm-hmm.
Which I think they were trying to get Cassie not to. That's why they pushed it 2 months, because they knew she was going to have the baby. So then they could have the trial before she could even hit the stand. So then she wouldn't be there. Now it's like, it's
thinking about it, that do make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because
I would do the same thing if I was the defense team. I'd be like, all right, she's about to have a kid.
He knew she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what?
Let's rush this.
Let's watch the clock.
Yeah, let's get this 2 months.
8.5, 8 months, 9 months. You know, all right, Yana, let's go ahead and let's do the court. Let's do everything right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it just so happens that she's 8.5 months pregnant. You know,
And they were like, the prosecutor like, no, we'll get her on the stand.
Yeah. We're gonna keep her on the stand. Oh, Your Honor,
so
I can't actually finish my questioning. I want to finish questioning by Monday. You know, can I keep her till Monday? Maybe she'll pop over the weekend.
Yeah. So she settled. Hey, you know the hotel gave her money too.
I told you that a couple days ago.
She settled with Diddy for $20 million, and the hotel for hiding the video got $10 million. They gave her $10 million.
I also think she met her husband in 2019. I think
she was tired of being a hoe.
I think she was.
I think she was like, I want a nice guy, but damn, being a nice guy. That poor guy in that courthouse. My God, if I heard those details,
I think homeboy, he was like, yo, babe, you've had a lot of stuff done to you. You need to get him. Let's go get him. Let's go put his business out. Let's go write this book.
I think more so, I would have to disagree with that. I think it was more so she got in touch with a lawyer and then she was like, I think they just fell in love and she I think they fell in love while she was working out and she confided with him about all these bad stories. But I mean, that guy hearing all those details in the courthouse about getting piped down by escorts.
I don't think that's nothing that he hasn't heard.
Yeah.
I think he's heard everything.
Would that be tough for you? It'd be tough for me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the man's there. For sure. The man's just sitting right there.
But there's nothing in that courtroom that he hasn't heard already.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if I heard some stuff, it would be hard pressed. I would try to keep it together for my wife at that time. But for him to even come out and make a statement and all this other stuff afterwards and tell him how much how strong she is and what she did for women of domestic violence and all this other stuff like that.
To play devil's advocate, he's not going anywhere.
The fuck no, he's not going anywhere.
That $30 million, he's not going anywhere. And do you feel like she has a responsibility to use that money for good? Like having a home or like a shelter for battered women? Or instead of using it to buy fancy?
She don't have
I feel like
responsibility.
I feel like she should do something with it.
She don't have a responsibility. Would it be nice? Sure. Would it be maybe a morality thing?
Maybe she turned a new leaf, man. She's got 3 kids. Well, she's got the third one on the way. And I think she's just tired of this party lifestyle.
Of course.
And I think she finally realized, she's 39. And
she's had 3 kids since 2019. So she's obviously done with this lifestyle. Hell, for her to even be able to have kids with the stuff that she actually went through.
Maybe that personal trainer was like that normal person.
UTIs that she's had and the STDs that she's had. For her
STDs?
What
are the cold sores? What did they say the sores were on her face for?
Oh yeah, those was whatchamacallit, UTIs and stuff.
No, UTI is for the
the cold sores. That's from her having allegedly having oral sex and stuff like that.
Are they saying she has herpes?
I didn't hear that word thrown out at all.
Okay.
But they said she had cold sores in her mouth.
But that's a form of herpes.
I do know. All I know is they said that she had herpes. I mean, not herpes.
It's not funny.
Not herpes. But no, they testified. She testified and said that she had cold sores in her mouth. She also had UTIs.
UTI is from having too much sex.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, she had UTIs and she had cold sores in her mouth. They didn't throw out herpes.
I think how this relationship worked was they went on drug binges.
Yeah.
And they were high out of their mind. And this is what happens. Honestly, they don't have any responsibilities.
This whole part is just
they were just living in some fantasy world.
Exactly.
And it's something we can't even relate to.
Exactly. This whole part, honestly, in all honesty, it's just messy.
Yeah.
This is just, even like I said, they're trying to paint a picture, but they gotta use Cassie.
Well, you made me think about her husband too,
and they gotta use Diddy to paint this picture.
You're right.
They're nasty mess.
It is really mature of him to be able to just handle that.
That's why
most men in this world wouldn't be able to deal with that.
If I would have heard some stuff that my wife didn't tell me that she said on that stand out loud like that,
The kids are with me.
Me and the kids, we
sole
gone.
custody.
Me and the kids, we gone. That'll be the last time I show up. No. That'll be the last time. If you didn't tell me every single thing that you're about to say, even as much as I wouldn't want to hear that, like you got to tell me all this stuff. As bad as I don't want to hear this stuff at the house, you got to tell me it. Because if I hear it out on that stand for the first time, me and the kids, we gone. Especially that stuff that you said that you talking about. Yeah, me and the kids will be gone. We will be gone. And so, yeah, because that's some hard stuff for a man to hear. If he has never heard
they
that
were
before.
dropping so many celebrity names in there. Michael B. Jordan, Chris Brown.
But see, they was only dropping the
And
names
some
from him,
mysterious
from her
NFL
side.
player.
Yeah, from her side.
You know what else got exposed?
There's gonna be a lot in these
officially.
I still believe this.
It is official.
A lot in
It
these
is
next 8
official. P. Diddy is bisexual.
weeks. Yeah.
Like, especially with all this, like it's no question now.
Yeah. Hey, Diddy's just he's nasty.
Yeah.
And
They said his daughters had to walk out in the middle of the court because it was too
hell yeah,
graphic.
I don't know why they damn daughters is up in there. Them daughters is 17, 18 years
Diddy's
old or
mom.
something like that.
And on a little side note, Diddy's dad used to work for Nicky Barnes.
Yeah.
In Harlem, and then Diddy's mom moved him to the suburbs in Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
And then that's where Diddy went to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to Howard. Then he went to Howard after high school. He was a smart kid, bro. He used to get good grades, bro.
Yeah.
That's why he always used to host the Howard parties in D.C. He was always in D.C. Now, back in my 20s, boss, I know you were talking about the clubs now, like, why don't I go in my 30s? But I used to be a clubber back in the day. I used to get down. I actually been to a Howard party.
I think you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I mean,
But he was always in the clubs. Actually, remember when I told you I saw Kim? Diddy made a celebrity appearance at the club.
When you said
I was working at DC
Kim?
Star. No, yeah, before Kim. So he was the first celebrity. But he showed up late. And he showed up.
Yeah, he was coming.
He didn't even know the owner's name. He asked for the owner's
coming
name.
off one of them freak offs.
Yeah, shut up.
Allegedly.
But yeah.
Yeah, nah. Like I said, man, I think this is it's all. You got to paint a messy picture before we getting into the like we said, we got 7 more weeks of this. If we got all this now in the first 5 days, these next 7 weeks is about to be a whole bunch of nasty.
But can I establish something?
And it's about to be a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
His money wasn't from selling drugs or selling sex.
No.
It's not like he had $1 billion enterprise of escorts.
No.
That's why I'm confused about the whole escort. Like, you can charge him with the prostitution, out-of-state prostitution, but he wasn't like the pimp. That dude, Molly Mall, the dude that did the Bad and Bougie beat.
I don't know.
Bad and Bougie.
Yeah, I know the Bad and Bougie beat.
Okay, Molly Mall is a producer. He's half Egyptian, half Brazilian. He's from the Bay Area. He's a big producer. But he was running an escort service. He actually did like 4 or 5 years in federal prison the past. But he was actually running a RICO, and he got charged with all that. And yeah, he was running a sex trafficking enterprise. So, I mean, in that sense, that to me is like a sex trafficking. Like,
But that's why we got 7 more weeks
So-
to figure this part out.
I just don't think he was making his money off that. That was a hobby. He wasn't making the money off the girls and the drugs. He was an addict.
But he was
not a drug dealer.
If in them 7 weeks find out that he was still doing it, then that's where you got Rico at. whether he was making a ton of money or not.
But don't you have to profit off of it? Don't you have to be able to make it? That was his hobby, though.
Everyone involved, that's where everyone involved. That's where we're trying to establish all that. Like I said, I think, man, dog, we got 7 more weeks.
I gotta see more.
We got, so do I. Because right now you just gave me a whole bunch of DV stuff, so I can't go off of this. So shit. With that being said, it's like these next 7 weeks.
And then how come these escort services aren't being held accountable? How come they're not getting federal charges?
We don't know what's going. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Now that it's out in the open, because they did tell us who one of the escort services is, or one of the whatchamacallit.
And knowing Diddy's character,
I think he's.
How come he hasn't rolled on anybody?
I think.
How come he hasn't snitched on anybody?
Honestly, I think he's going to get on the stand. I feel like he's going to get on the stand because
he has
Diddy's one of them dudes. I feel like Diddy is going to get on the stand. I don't know when. I don't know when. But I think Diddy is going to get on the stand because he's one of them dudes. He gives me damn Nino Brown at the end of the damn whatchamacallit. He said, if I'm going down, I'm taking all you motherfuckers with me.
Or Training Day.
Yeah, that too.
Remember that?
Yeah,
that clip of Training Day?
That too. Diddy's giving.
I'll put cases on all y'all.
Diddy is giving me that vibe. He's always gave me that vibe. That's why I said I don't believe he made it to this day. I don't believe he made it to this day because I thought Diddy was gonna go up in there and sing it. When he got arrested, I thought I gave him a month. I literally gave Diddy a month because I was like, oh, he about to sing. Yeah. I was like, this ain't.
That's why I was like, I'm surprised.
When I first heard that he got arrested and then they appealed his bail, I was like, oh, this ain't gonna last.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was gonna tell on somebody.
I was like, yeah, he gonna try and tell, and then he gonna get the Epstein treatment. So I was like, all right, and then this is gonna be. But we're here today. We're here. We are here. I didn't think we'd be here talking about this. I honestly didn't. But as it came, he made it here. And he didn't tell nobody. But also, I think Diddy is one of them ones where he like to put on the show. And I think he's going to get on that stand. And he's going to try and tell his part. And then he's going to put on the show.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Oh.
Because
that's where Tory Lanez got messed up. So this is a good segue.
It's a good, perfect segue because that's what happened with Tory. Tory did not get on the stand. And now, allegedly, the bodyguard of Kelsey, the other girl that was, I don't know her last name, but it was 3 people in the car. It was obviously Meg Thee Stallion, the girl Kelsey, and Tory Lanez.
You see that Megan Stallion put the guy that stabbed him, she put money on his book. So she's definitely like,
what?
Yeah, she's vindictive, bro. She's got it. She hates him. So I don't know, bro. That's the thing is, like, who's telling the truth? So she put money on his books.
But that don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Women, when they're vindictive, when they don't like you, they're not gonna like you. Listen, I got a baby mother.
Yeah.
that thinks I'm trying to do everything towards her in the world. To this day, she won't fuck. She won't mess with me, and I don't care. Please don't. It is definitely mutual. But with that being said, I can get how she could overlook somebody that really did something shit to her. But like I said, what was it? Where was I going to? But so the bodyguard that was driving the car, he came out and said a couple of days ago, he's like, yo, I've been holding this in. I never had an NDA, but I've been holding this in, and I hate to see what happened. What happened to Tory was, this is me paraphrasing, but what happened to Tory was just fucked up, and it was really
he had a guilty conscience.
It was really Kelsey that shot the gun. Tory's fingerprints wasn't even found on the gun. Tory's fingerprints wasn't even found on the gun. Now, I don't know what type of Dr. Strange shit he know how to do, what kind of Agamotto shit he know how to do. But if my fingerprints ain't even found on the gun, I need some stuff done.
Well, if he's innocent, man, I hope he gets out.
I hope so too. I really do.
I don't know what to say.
I felt from the very beginning.
To
That Tory Lanez
to have an opinion on it
was wrongfully tried. I mean, not tried, not wrongfully tried, because he was tried in front of a jury of his peers and everything, court proceedings, everything. But some of the things he should have took the stand and been like, "Yo, I ain't do it. I didn't do it." Even if he didn't want to snitch, he could have said, "Yo, I didn't fucking do it. My DNA wasn't even on the gun. How do I shoot a gun that ain't my DNA in on?"
I think they gave him a deal for 4 years, and he said no.
Yeah, because he didn't do it. He knew he didn't do it. I wouldn't take no deal if I know I ain't do some shit. But then that's when I'm going to be up there and be like, "Yo, I didn't do the shit." You might not snitch on some girls. You might not snitch on some girls.
What do you think about Megan Thee Stallion's character?
Oh, it's all down. She ever since that whole
You trust her?
Or hell no. Fuck that hoe.
No?
Hell no. That don't take away from her being able to rap and shit like that. She can do all that, but bitch, I mean, let me not call her a bitch.
You went too hard.
Yeah. She can rap and all that other stuff, but outside of rapping, she ain't good for shit.
Wow.
She ain't worth shit.
Yeah.
She ain't worth shit. Any woman that can
very
sit there,
controversial video.
any woman that'll sit there and point the finger at a man that ain't do some shit, you ain't worth shit.
Well, we don't know that. So
allegedly.
Yeah, we don't know.
Allegedly.
I mean, you could jump the
all
gun.
Three of us wasn't.
I have to see.
There was nobody else besides the four of them in
I gotta
that
see
car.
how things. I gotta see how things play out.
I agree. So, I feel that it was the girl. I always said it was the girl that did it from the jump. But
like I said before,
we don't know
what happens when you get bored with money. Everybody in that damn truck had money.
Yep.
Yeah, you can go to Maui, you go to Paris, you go to Africa, you go anywhere, but you want to sit here and get drunk and play around with some guns.
You want to go to a damn Kylie Jenner party.
Yeah.
That's what happened when you fuck with Kardashians. Ah, man, you leave a Kardashian party, boy, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Or a Kardashian. That's what I call them. But yeah. There you go, in a nutshell. So it's like, and now if that man is really truly innocent, which I truly believe, it's fucked up what happened to him. It is fucked up what happened to him. So I'm like, I pray for him, pray for he has a speedy recovery, and I pray that he gets the justice that he deserves. Or however they can.
I mean, if the bodyguard is true, he should turn himself in, or he should talk to the detective on that case.
I don't know how that works.
How that process
he was
works.
Already tried and found
I've
guilty.
heard stories about that in the past, where the wrongly convicted man, and then the murderer has such a guilty conscience, he admits to it. So
even Megan's team and them, they came out and said, "Well, hey, this has already been settled." He pretty much, this has already been settled in court. They're not going back and forth with this. And same with Kelsey's people. So yeah, like we said, we'll see. And like I said, hopefully to everybody, for Tory, hopefully he heals up good. And hopefully, if he is innocent, I hope he gets the justice that he deserves.
No.
And I don't know what they can do about that. I ain't no legal expert. And then for the whole Diddy Cassie situation and everything,
see how things play out.
Praying for Cassie and everything.
Hey. So we're at episode 14. So 14.
I think that'll be the end of the year.
No, it'll be 22. It'll be episode 22.
8 weeks. Yeah.
So we'll know by episode 22.
Yeah, we will.
And then 2 to 24.
Yep. So we
You know how we said we're gonna do something special for 24? We need to do something special for 21 too. Remember how I told you 90% of the podcast don't last past 21. So that's a milestone too. But 24 is a milestone. And yes, we are gonna talk about the future out of this. Mm-hmm. But I just
So
I want to do some traveling, Ron, when it's all said and done. So when the dust settles, you know, get the passport. But I was thinking about doing something like on a little side note, just like a little traveling blog, or like I said, I would like to get a group of us.
A traveling blog?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you got to put your face in front of the camera to do that. This is the outside of me and you. You got to do it yourself too.
I'll be camera ready by fall. I'll be camera ready by fall.
You want to start practicing and maybe doing some stuff on your own? Okay.
But maybe I do want to get a group of us.
Next time you see him, it'll be on the next episode, and then the next episode after that, and then the next episode after that. He ain't putting his face on the camera. Outside of
no, but I'm saying like if I start going to the mountains, I would like to have like maybe like a drone video of me hiking and showing like the Grand Canyon or Zion Park or the Hoover Dam, or Vegas, maybe
it's been a while since.
So just a little side video, a part of the channel. So just a little bit of different stuff, and then, you know, maybe some plumbing stuff, and then, you know, you can like under the channel show like fading and lining up and stuff like that. So basically I would like the channel to be like a self-improvement for men and women, and they can use it to benefit them. So that's something to think about.
No, of course. Hell
so putting that in the universe.
You already know it. You already know it. Austino, my brother, we about to head on out. Episode what? You hesitated. You almost was the show. 14.
No, I was gonna say something. I was gonna say.
What you about to say, dog? You can't.
I know it looks like I'm defending Diddy, but I'm not putting any money on Diddy's books.
No, fuck no. Ain't nobody defending Diddy.
But I don't know. We'll see how this feels like. When I was a kid, do you remember the O.J. Simpson? Hey, do you remember the O.J. Simpson case?
Yeah, all this.
It feels like something. It's something of like this is gonna happen. Where you can't be shocked if he walks.
I'm not. And I can see.
And then maybe he made a deal with the government.
But before we get back, that's one of the things that happened Friday after. Well, allegedly, this part actually did happen. So Friday, after they all left home, jury left, Dawn had left, prosecution and jury's team, Diddy's team, they stayed after the courthouse. Because they're sitting, because that's what we were talking about. Like, yo, where's Diddy's team? Is like, yo, where's the RICO and the racketeering and that? And then they was like, well, Don's testimony, prosecution was like, Don's testimony is testifying that they had guns and said, yo, this is the RICO and the racketeering part, starting to build up. So then the judge sent the prosecution home. He called Diddy's team of his defense, his Mark Act.
He's got 10 lawyers.
He got 7.
Oh, 7.
So he called the 2 head lawyers into his chambers without a court reporter that writes down everything that goes, that's everything that's being said. So they're in the back chamber, just his lawyers, the 2 head lawyers, and the judge in the back chamber with no way of
So what they say?
We don't know.
Oh, we'll find out.
We don't know.
Time will tell.
With that being said, we don't know what's going to happen. Signing off.